You are Locked On Angels Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, I need you guys to do me a favor and tell me if the mic sounds better right now. Hearing mixed reviews about the audio. Let me know. Anaheim Angel says, IT says to press off, then on again. That's basically what I did. I just unplugged it and plugged it back in. Let me know as soon as possible, guys, if the audio is okay. Please let me know. I don't want to keep going if it's not. And if it's really, really bad. Oh, it's good now. Okay, there we go. All right. Well, hopefully that doesn't throw things off a little bit too much. Now I can be confident talking about the Angels. And it gave everyone enough time to get in here. Now KC24J says it's good now. Light that baby up. We good, says Anaheim Angel. All right. Shout out to all of you guys. The audio is good. We're good. Let's get back into it. We're talking about the offense. I hope the intro was at least like audible enough. You could at least hear what I was saying. Hopefully. If not, Angels were really good. Let's talk about it right now. 13 hits. 13 hits. They had 5. I was about to say yesterday. They had 5 a couple hours ago in game 1. 13 today. Obviously, let's not act like there's a big surprise. Why? A much different pitcher. In game 1, you're going against Luis Gil, who is unbelievable, right? I mean, maybe that's a little bit aggressive now, but earlier in the year he was. Certainly he was unbelievable when he pitched 8 innings, gave up just 2 hits and 1 earned run, struck out 9 back in May when he faced the Angels at the Big A. Today, he was great again. A lot different story in game 2 going up against Will Warren. Jeff's telling me he didn't hear the intro. That's a bummer. All right, we're just going to keep going as normal. I apologize in advance for the audio not being great, but we are back. We are good. Hey, it's part of a live broadcast. It's what happens, unfortunately. But you're getting 2 postcasts for the price of 1, so hopefully that makes up for it. Long story short, you're playing against Will Warren in game 2. The ERA is now over 11 in his young career. He is a rookie. He was a former round 8 pick. He made his MLB debut this season. He's now pitched 2 games. In game 1 of his career against the Phillies, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 earned runs. And today against the Angels, much worse. I mean, twice as bad. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 8 earned runs. He had 3 walks. And the moral of the story is, I don't know if I'm that surprised. Like, this team against great pitchers is never going to do anything. Let's be honest. But against bad pitchers, you need to be able to hold your own. And maybe not all 9 guys in the lineup, certainly not. But when you have guys like Zach Neto, right? Like Nolan Schanuel, like Kevin Pillar, heck, today in this game, like Mickey Moniak, like Michael Stefanic, at the very least, these are remotely close to big league hitters, right? These are maybe AAA plus, quadruple A type of hitters. And Luis Gil is certainly a big league, if not big league elite starting pitcher. Will Warren, not so much. He's a AAA level pitcher, let's be honest. And the Angels made him look like that. That's what you're supposed to do if you're a big league hitter, like certainly Zach Neto has proven to be, and like I think Michael Stefanic is, like I think Nolan Schanuel is, right? And so Logan O'Hoppe ends up having a really, really bad day still, even worse than game 1, 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, and yet I'm leaving this game and this day saying, I'm okay. I think O'Hoppe finishes the day 0 for 10 with 6 strikeouts or something like that. And yet I'm leaving the day saying that's okay. I would have never predicted that because we saw enough from Zach Neto to overcome that, in that we know O'Hoppe's still going to be great, but now we're even more confident Zach Neto's going to be great. Schanuel is good enough today. Gets on base twice. Love that from the leadoff spot. And we get some help from other guys. Mickey Moniak, Zach Pillar. Look at me. Everything's about Zach Neto right now, but Kevin Pillar, even Matt Thaiss was great. You know, it's great to see that a lot of people contributed against a pitcher that you need to contribute against. It only came in 2 innings, so we'll quickly break those down for you. In the second inning, got started with a Kevin Pillar single, then a Matt Thaiss single, then a Mickey Moniak single to score Pillar, send Matt Thaiss to third. First and third, still nobody out. Joe Adell walks. Bases are juiced, and yet Charles LeBlanc strikes out, Michael Stefanic strikes out, and we're thinking, oh man, we've blown this opportunity. It's only going to be 1-0 when it really should be 3 or 4-0. But no, with 2 outs, Nolan Schanuel works the walk. Great job. I mean, it was 4 pitches, ball 4 wasn't even a ball, but hey, we will take it. We will certainly not complain. And then with the bases still loaded, the hit of the game, the hit of the day, the best hit in a while, a grand slam from Zach Neto, who has been scorching hot so far to start August and really to end July. And man, especially since he moved up to the 2-hole, he's been unbelievable. 3-2. He does a great job of, he swings at one pitch in the whole at bat prior to pitch 6, and it's a sinker right down the middle. But other than that, he takes a strike. He takes 3 balls. It's a great professional at bat, and he finishes it off with an absolute bomb. Sinker pretty much down the middle, and he hits it 106.1 off the bat, 412 feet. Grand slam, his now 16th homer of the year, his 8th, or not technically not at this point, but at this point, 4 RBIs, 6 for the day. He would end up making it 8 for the day in 2 innings later, because in the 4th inning, after the Yankees get a run back, it's still 6-1. We have a LeBlanc single, a Michael Stefanic double. Shanuel flies out, and it's 1st and 3rd with 1 out for Zach Neto. 2nd and 3rd. And what does he do? He hits almost the exact same pitch. Not almost, basically. Sinker, high and away from Will Warren. He rips it again, 103.6 exit velo. He hit it 343 feet for a double down the right field line, and it's 8-1. And this game's just about over. So much so that the Yankees left Will Warren in to finish off the 4th and to start the 5th, because at this point, they're down 7 runs. And so Zach Neto finishes the day with 6 RBIs, 3 for 5, a grand slam. He's red hot. He is red hot. And the dream of having him and Ohapi both over an 800 OPS, certainly realistic now. Neto already suddenly is a 781 OPS, a 261 average. He's already probably got the best slash line of the whole dang team. So, oh my, it is so beautiful. We're going to take our first break here. When we come back, we'll talk about the pitching, because it deserves some credit. It deserves some credit, certainly. Glad the audio is better now. Apologies that it wasn't earlier. We will now take our first break and come back and talk about the pitching here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Just like in the first show of the day, today's show is once again brought to you by Prize Picks. If you don't remember somehow, or maybe if you missed the first show, I don't blame you for only watching this one since we lost the first one. It's America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Prize Picks is, with over 5 million active members, it's the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports, because unlike other apps, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. And they have great promotions. Right now, you can, while you're watching Team USA rack up the gold medals this year, you can turn $10 into $1,000. That's right. You can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. On Tuesdays, they lower certain stat projections to make it easier for lineups to hit. And on Friday, if your lineup doesn't hit, your first lineup, you get your money back. It's a no-brainer. So please download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's what? It's what? It's what? It's that easy. Back here live on the Locked On Sports Los Angeles YouTube channel. This is the Locked On Angels Postcast. I'm Gavin Carlson with a hopefully better sounding microphone, and we certainly got a better looking Angels offense in Game 2. There's sirens going on outside. Man, LA loves to make it really hard for me to host a darn show. I just got to say that. But what a performance today. 8-2 to cap off a kind of crazy doubleheader day. There was still rain throughout the game, especially this game. We saw Verdugo have a funny moment where he slips in the outfield. The rain didn't really look like it played that much of a factor, but it was there, and the Angels looked like they didn't care in Game 2. 13 hits, 8 runs, 6 of the RBIs coming from Zach Neto, a grand slam in the 2nd, a 2 RBI base hit in the 4th. All the runs coming in those 2 innings, but that's all they needed, because they go up 8-1. Heading into the bottom of the 4th, it becomes 8-2, and then no runs for the final 5 innings of the game for either team. Really felt like the Yankees mailed this one in, and it'll end up being a disappointing day for them. You go 1-1 against the Angels when you should be going 2-0. We got to talk about the pitching, because I mentioned Carson Fulmer in the first show today while talking about Davis Daniel, and Carson Fulmer did exactly what I asked. Was, hey, I said like 5 innings, 3 earned runs or something. He gave us 4 innings, but 2 earned runs. That's more than fine. Against this lineup, more than fine. And Carson Fulmer continues to do his job, and arguably more than his job. This is a guy that has not been great in his career, who is technically a long reliever, who's been asked to become a typical starter like every 5 games, sometimes every 4 starts. It's Carson Fulmer. And all he's done is become a guy who has now a pretty consistently below 4 ERA. He eats up about 4 to 5 innings most time he pitches. He's not going to give up 6 or 7 runs anymore. He's given up around 3 runs a game. That's all you can ask for. At the end of the day, if your staff gives up 4 runs in a game, you're supposed to win. And too many times the Angels have not won because we know how weak this lineup is at times. But once again, Carson Fulmer does his job. 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, just 1 walk. And that's the biggest thing. 7 hits is not great to give up, but when there's only 1 walk, it ends up only being 8 base runners in 4 innings. That's 2 base runners an inning, which is still kind of difficult. It's a pretty high whip. But hey, that just, if anything, shout out to having the resilience to, despite that, only give up 2 earned runs. It ends up being a very solid performance from him, and he deserves a lot of credit. Too many times we have guys here that are performing way below expectations, that aren't even doing the bare minimum, right? I don't need to get into how many guys on this roster don't even play baseball, which is like the bare minimum. But then we have guys like, Brandon Drury, who are literally like, I think one of you watching this postcast could probably hit better than he is right now. Obviously, that's not actually true, but still, it's been brutal for him. We know how frustrated I get with Taylor Ward, who's been a below average hitter this year, while always being a below average fielder, while always being a below average base runner. There's too many guys that are below average in everything, that you got to at least be average in a lot of things or really above average in one thing, right? We don't have many guys that are holding their weight. And Carson Fulmer is a guy that I don't think it's not arguably at this point. He is exceeding expectations, and he deserves a lot of credit. Shout out to the rest of the bullpen. They deserve a lot of credit as well. Hunter Strickland, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 walk, but no runs. Jose Quijada, who I forgot to mention who I got to mention earlier today when I was talking about the bullpen, he has been phenomenal since he's come back. Another scoreless inning for him, just 1 walk, but a strikeout in his 7th inning. His ERA is 1.5. It's almost perfect. He's been great since he's come back. Obviously a small sample size, but it's not against just the A's or just the Rockies or something. He just did it against the Yankees. All right? You deserve a lot of credit. Roansy Contreras, the ERA is slowly getting there. It's not quite under 4 yet, but it's almost there. 4.04 ERA, a scoreless inning for him with a strikeout. And then Mike Baumann gets the 9th inning opportunity, certainly not a save opportunity, but he has not been great. The ERA is still over 4.5 despite the scoreless 9th inning from him. But hey, a scoreless 5 innings from the bullpen after a solid start from Carson Fulmer. It's about as good as you can ask for the bullpen and the whole pitching staff. And once again, I'll say it time and time again, this coaching staff deserves so much credit for what they have done with the bullpen, with this kind of, taped together rotation, right? They have done such a great job. They deserve a lot of credit. This is when a coaching staff is making players better than they should be. We haven't even had coaches make players be like what they should be, like average. But to have them exceeding expectations, it's a miracle to see. Ron Washington and the whole staff, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep beating that drum. They deserve more credit than they're getting for this pitching staff, and this pitching staff deserves more credit than it is getting. We're going to take our last break here, where it's going to be a little bit of a shorter show just because a couple things. Second show of the day. I also have to go somewhere kind of soon, I'll be honest. Game went a little bit longer, the doubleheader, a little bit longer than I expected. But also, I'm pretty exhausted because talking for an hour in a 6-hour span or whatever is actually more tiring than you would think. Not to mention, I had a workout in between, and then I just ran 3 miles. So I'm pretty tired. And honestly, it's been a long baseball day, so I think we deserve a longer break. So I'm going to take my last break here. I'm still going to get to all the comments. We're still going to finish up in like 6 minutes. It's not going to be done in 2 minutes. Don't you worry. But we're going to take our last break, and we'll be right back. Once again, this is the what? The what? I really like doing that. This is the what? It's the Locked On Angels Postcast. We'll be right back. Once again, today's show is brought to you by Liquid IV, which I'm going to be indulging in once again right after the show because, man, do I need it. Why? Because I need to get hydrated with more than just water, with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, Liquid IV. When you're taking in America's pastime, whether you're doing a workout, regardless, don't forget to hydrate with Liquid IV and specifically their Popsicle their popsicle firecracker flavor, a surefire summer hit. Because why? Because baseball and summer go together like liquid IV and indulgent hydration. Tear, pour, live more, one stick plus 16 ounces of water. Hydrates better than water alone. Powered by LIV Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, everything. So, no more thirsty summers when you indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MLB at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. Liquid IV, I use it, and you should too. Back here live one more time for the second Locked On Angels postcast of the day. Not only a doubleheader for the players, not only a doubleheader for you, the fans, but a doubleheader for me as well. And wow, a lot more fun second postcast as the Angels offense not only shows up after a pretty lackluster first game, they explode. 8 runs, 6 courtesy of Zach Neto, a grand slam, and then a 2-run single. He finishes the day with 8 RBIs, and he needs to bat second for the rest of the season. I don't think it's even up for debate at this point. Honestly, the argument could be made, should he be hitting third? He's hitting like a 3-hole hitter. But hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and is more than not broken. It is fixed as could be with him at second, or hitting second in the lineup. Leave him there and keep him there for the rest of the year. I don't see why not. We're going to get to the comment section here, and then we're going to wrap this one up. A couple comments about the mic not being great, but that's done now, fixed. Shout out to you guys for letting me know. Jeff came in here early and positive. He said, I cannot believe they won and hope they remember to score this many runs tomorrow. We're suddenly talking about a series win in the Bronx being a possibility. Love to see it. He also says, Gavin, I appreciate all you do. I appreciate you, Jeff, for always being in here and everyone else. Skylar says, Zach Neto got that dog in him. 8 RBI total in the doubleheader. I'll take a split any day. Light that baby up, and you are exactly right. It ends up being certainly a net positive day. You split against the Yankees. You technically outscore them when you combine the 2 scores from the day, and you get more confirmation that Zach Neto is a superstar in the making. It is a win of a day. Absolutely. Daniel Berry says, yo, he says, beast, referring to Zach Neto. There was some talk about the audio. We fixed that. Anaheim Angel says, will be nice if we leave New York with 2 series wins. That's right. How could I forget? You beat the Mets, and now you could beat the Yankees. You could win 4 of 6 against those 2 playoff teams. Would be phenomenal. Fut Alex says, what up? Anaheim Angel agrees that would be nice to get those 2 series wins. KC24J says, light that baby up. Woo, woo, woo. He also says Neto is nice. And then Fut Alex says, the difference between the lineups. Yeah, absolutely. They should keep using the second lineup. Well, let's talk about that real quick before we wrap this one up. O'Hoppe was brutal. About as brutal as you could be today, right? I think the final stat line for him in the 2 games will be 0 for 10 with 6 strikeouts, I believe, is the correct stat line. Brutal. But do I think that should change where he hits? No. 1, 2, 3, Shanuel, Neto, O'Hoppe, perfect. Pilar hit cleanup today, or in this game, fine with that. Dice, Moniak, Adele, I don't really care about those, to be honest, about where they are in the lineup. LeBlanc is obviously not a normal everyday hitter. I would like to see Michael Stefanic play every day and move up. Because a lot of people seem to forget that this is still a guy who is young. This is still a guy that very easily could be included in that trio of Shanuel, Neto, O'Hoppe. It could become a quad, a quartet, I believe, of those 4 young guys. And Stefanic doesn't need to hit like 4th or anything, but I'd love to see Stefanic hit like 2nd. Or excuse me, not 2nd. That's Zach Neto. 6th. I think that'd be a nice thing, right? Hit him 6th. I don't think he's a worse hitter than LeBlanc. Honestly, than Adele. Honestly, probably not even a worse hitter than Moniak. So he could easily hit 6th in this lineup. And until he starts to fail, because right now he suddenly has the best average on the team. He's hitting 304. He's been absolutely red hot since he's been called back up. So I agree. Would love to see Stefanic play more. Going to toot my own horn here. I said that this needed to be the case, and it needs to be the case. All right? More Stefanic. Keep those 3 young guys at the top. Shuffle the middle of the order all you want. Maybe move Stefanic up a little bit. And other than that, I agree. This lineup clearly worked a lot more. It is all about matchups. Let's not forget they were going against a much easier pitcher. But at the end of the day, much better performance. So with all that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a long day for all of us. I appreciate everybody that was in here earlier in the day for game 1, here for game 2, and our resilience is rewarded with a nice 8-2 win. So, 8-2 the final. Angels beat the Yankees to split the doubleheader day. What a day it was. We'll be back here tomorrow for game 3. Hopefully we can win this series. I'm Gavin Carlson. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night, everybody. And as always, go Angels.